In the previous few lectures, we derived the Bethe-Bloch formula and we found out that minus dE by dx is nothing but the stopping power of the medium. So we said that minus dE by dx, it can be said as specific energy loss, or it is also called as stopping power of the medium. So the expression that we derived, the Bethe-Bloch formula, minus dE by dx, it comes out to be equal to Z square, where Z is the atomic number for the case of the heavy charged particle, the incoming particle, times e power 4 into capital N are the number of atoms in unit volume of the absorbing medium. Then we have Z prime, this is the atomic number of the absorbing medium, divide by 4 pi epsilon naught square me v square. V is the velocity of the incoming particle, and inside the bracket we have three terms. First term is natural log of 2me v square divided by h nu minus natural log of 1 minus v square by c square, and at last we have minus v square by c square. So this is the formula, this is the Bethe-Bloch formula. Now this minus dE by dx is termed as stopping power of the medium. Now there are various factors on which this stopping power depends. As you can see that this stopping power is independent of the mass of the incident particle. So nowhere you can see that we have used the mass of the incident particle. Here we have mass of the electron, and this comes from the orbital electrons which are revolving around the nucleus of the absorbing medium. So this is the mass of the electron. So nowhere in this formula do we have the mass of the incident particle. So the stopping power of the medium is independent of mass of incident particle. And then you can see that the stopping power of the medium is square of Z. So Z is the, so as we have seen that plus ZE we have taken as the charge on the incoming heavy charged particle. So Z comes from there. So stopping power of the medium is directly proportional to Z square, and you can also see that stopping power is dependent upon linear power of Z prime. So here we have Z square and here we have Z prime. So there is linear power of Z prime. Now what is Z prime? It is the proton number, or you can say the atomic number of the absorbing medium. The medium in which the heavy charged particle is traveling, that is the absorbing medium. So this stopping power is directly proportional to Z prime. Then we have the stopping power is inversely proportional to V square. So at moderate speeds these terms, you will see that at moderate speeds this term will cancel with this term, and in few minutes we will see that how this term will cancel with this term at moderate speeds, that is at not very high speeds. Then in that case this stopping power will be inversely proportional to square of the velocity of the incoming particle. So it is inversely proportional to square of the velocity of the heavy charged particle. Now from here you can see that here we have Z square. ZE is the charge present on the incoming particle. So let's say if you have alpha particle and you have a proton. So these two particles are traveling in the same medium. They are traveling in the same medium. So they have, let's say they have same amount of energy, and they have same amount of velocity. So with same velocity they are entering this medium. So what will be the comparison of their energy loss in the same absorbing medium? So you can see that all other factors in this formula will remain the same. The only variable will be Z. So for the case of alpha particle, what is the charge on alpha particle? It is plus 2e, and for the case of proton the charge is plus e. So for the case of alpha, Z will be equal to 2, and for the case of proton, z will be equal to 1. So in case of alpha particle, we will have 2 square, and in case of proton, we will have 1 square. So when you will compare the energy loss for the case of alpha and proton, so the energy loss, that is dE by dx, or you can say minus dE by dx, for the case of alpha particle will come out to be 4 times. So for the case of alpha particle, we will have 2 square, that will be nothing but equal to 4. So for the case of alpha particle, the energy loss is 4 times as that of the proton. So alpha particle will lose more energy in comparison to the proton in the same absorbing medium. So it just depends upon the charge on the incoming particle. Now we are going to see that how the dE by dx term depends upon energy of the incoming particle. So the typical graph of dE by dx versus energy of the incoming particle looks something like this. So at lower energies, at very low energy, the energy loss, so dE by dx is the energy loss, or you can say the energy which is given to the medium, or energy deposited in the medium for traveling unit path in the medium. So when the particle travels a unit path length inside the absorbing material, the amount of energy that it loses is given by minus dE by dx, or you can say dE by dx will be the energy deposited by the heavy charged particle or incoming particle for traveling unit path length inside the absorbing medium. So the typical diagram of energy loss, specific energy loss versus energy of the incoming particle looks something like this. So at low energies, when the energy of the incoming particle is very less, so in that case there is an increase in energy loss and it reaches a maximum. So the energy loss, if dE by dx is more, means more energy is lost in the material by the incoming particle, and if dE by dx is less, means less amount of energy is deposited. And in the case of heavy charged particle, we have seen that energy is lost by two main processes. First is ionization and another is excitation. So this energy loss is also called as collisional energy loss. Collisional energy loss, the energy loss due to ionization and excitation of the atoms of the absorbing medium. So that is also termed as collisional energy loss. So for the case of heavy charged particle, there is either ionization of the absorbing medium or there can be excitation of the atoms of the absorbing medium. So if energy loss is more, if dE by dx is more, means more amount of energy is deposited in the medium, means there are more ionizations. More atoms will be ionized in the absorbing medium. And if dE by dx is less, means energy loss by the heavy charged particle is less, and hence the number of ionizations in the absorbing medium will also be less. So if dE by dx is more, means energy loss is more and hence ionizations are more. And if it is less, then ionizations are also less because energy loss is less. So over here at low values of energies, firstly dE by dx increases, the energy loss in the medium at low energies increases and reaches the maximum. And after that there is a decrease in the energy loss. After this maximum, there is a decrease in the energy loss, and this decrease is followed by the expression of 1 by v square. So over here, the Bethe-Bloch relation comes. So here dE by dx at low energies is inversely proportional to square of the velocity of the incoming particle. So over here in this energy region, at moderate values of energy, the energy loss is dependent upon 1 by v square. So this term means if energy is increasing in this case. In this case, here energy is increasing, means velocity of the incoming particle is increasing. If the velocity of the incoming particle increases, then energy loss will decrease. So if velocity of the incoming particle increases, in this Bethe-Bloch formula also you can see, if velocity increases, then energy loss will decrease. Means less ionizations will be there. So if you increase the energy of the incoming particle further, then the energy loss inside the medium will be proportional to 1 by v square. So as velocity is increasing, the energy loss will be decreasing, and at one point will come, a particular energy value will come when the energy loss is minimum. When the energy loss will be minimum, means ionizations will be minimum. So if energy loss is minimum, then ionizations are also minimum. So at one point, one energy value will come for a particle. Over here we are increasing the energy of a particle. So let's say if you are taking 1 mega electron volt of alpha particle, which is entering in the medium, and then you take 1.5 mega electron volt energy of alpha particle, and after that you increase its energy, that is you are taking a 2 mega electron volt of alpha particle. That is an alpha particle of energy 2 mega electron volt. So you are increasing the energy of the incoming particle, and then you are saying what is the energy loss inside the medium. So as you are increasing, you see that at moderate values of energy, the energy loss is dependent upon 1 by v square, and one point of energy will come when the energy loss will be minimum. Energy loss is minimum, means ionizations are also minimum, and at this point, this particle of this certain amount of energy where minimum ionizations occur inside the absorbing material, this particle is termed as minimum ionizing particle. So at this point, we call the particle as minimum ionizing particle, and after this, if you will increase the energy of the incoming particle, then the energy loss will start increasing, and that increase comes due to this logarithmic term. So due to this logarithmic term, the energy loss will again start increasing as you are increasing the energy, or you can say you are increasing the velocity of the incoming particle. So at low energies, the energy loss is dominated. So you can see that the energy loss is dominated by 1 by v square factor, and this is called as non-relativistic region. And after that, dE by dx, the energy which is deposited by the heavy charged particle for traveling unit path length, this energy deposited will reach a minimum. So it will reach a minimum, and at this point the particle is called as minimum ionizing particle, or also in short it is written as MIP. So minimum ionizing particle is that particle whose mean energy loss rate through the matter is minimum, or you can say through the absorbing medium is minimum. So its energy loss rate is minimum. And after this point, the energy loss increases again due to the logarithmic term, and this is termed as relativistic rise. So this rise in the energy loss is called as relativistic rise. Another thing that you can notice over here is that in this particular region, when you increase the energy of the incoming particle, the energy loss is decreasing. And if we talk about the reverse condition, means if you decrease the energy from this point, if you decrease the energy of the incoming particle, the energy loss is increasing. So now if I take an absorbing medium, so this is an absorbing medium, and a heavy charged particle, let's say alpha particle, is entering this medium with a certain amount of energy E. So when this alpha particle will enter, it will start losing its energy to the atoms of the absorbing medium. So as it will travel as it will start traveling a distance inside the absorbing medium, its energy will be decreasing because it will be losing its energy to the surroundings. So energy of the incoming particle will be decreasing as it will be traveling in the absorbing medium. So its energy will be decreasing. So if its energy is decreasing as it is traveling inside the medium, that is, its energy is decreasing, so what will be the energy loss during the path which is traveled? What will be the energy loss? Specific energy loss will be increasing. So as the particle is traveling in the medium, this one particle, when it is traveling in the medium, it is losing its energy. And if it is losing its energy, means its energy loss will be increasing. Its energy loss, or you can say the stopping power of the medium, will be increasing, means more ionizations will be occurring. As the energy will be decreasing, energy loss will be increasing, or you can say the ionizations will be increasing. More ionizations will occur as the velocity of the particle will decrease. So if its energy is decreasing as it is traveling, its energy is decreasing, means its velocity is also decreasing, and hence more ionizations will occur as its velocity will decrease. Because energy loss is increasing, so ionizations will also increase as its velocity is decreasing, or you can say its energy is decreasing. So here I have shown another curve. So this curve is of specific energy loss with respect to the penetration depth. Now penetration depth is the amount of distance which is traveled by the incoming particle in the absorbing medium. So when the particle has just started entering the medium, it has just entered the medium, so this penetration depth will represent the distance traveled in the medium. So if it has just entered the medium, its energy loss is somewhere at this point. And as it will travel more distance in the medium, its energy loss will increase, as we have said over here. As it will travel more distance, its energy will decrease, and as you can see from here, if its energy is decreasing, its energy loss is increasing. So if it is traveling more distance, its energy will decrease, and so energy loss is increasing. And one point will come when the energy loss will be maximum, as over here. So as its energy is decreasing, energy loss is increasing, and at one point it will become maximum. So at one point its energy loss will increase and it will lose almost whole of its energy at this point. So when it will reach a certain distance in the medium, it will lose almost whole of its energy, and its energy loss will suddenly go to zero. So at this point, its energy loss means most of its energy will be lost, or you can say whole amount of energy that the heavy charged particle is having at this point will be lost, and after that the energy loss will go to zero because there is no more energy left to lose. So if there is no more energy left to lose, the energy loss will drop to zero. So at this point, we can see that there is maximum energy loss. So if a particle is traveling in an absorbing medium, at one point, at one distance, its energy loss will become maximum, means at this point there will be maximum ionizations. So as it is traveling in the medium, the energy loss is increasing, means ionizations are increasing. So more ionizing, or you can say more ionizations occur towards the end of its path. So as its path is ending, because after that its energy will go to zero, that is its velocity will go to zero. So here you can say we have end of the path of the incoming particle. So towards the end of the path, you can see that ionizations are increasing. At one point, the ionizations will be maximum. So here we get a peak, and this peak is called as Bragg's peak. And this curve is called as the curve of dE by dx versus the penetration depth in the medium, this curve is termed as Bragg's curve. This concept of Bragg's curve is actually used in radiation therapy. Now, there are some cells or cancer cells which are present in someone's body. So those cells are killed using this concept. So some ionizing radiations, they are made to hit those cells. They are made to travel in the body of a person. And as they are traveling, they will lose their energy. The ionizing particles will lose their energy as they are traveling. And one point will come when they will lose whole of its energy. That is, they will cause maximum ionizations. That most of or you can say whole of its energy will be lost at this point. And hence the cancer cells can be killed by using this concept. So at a particular distance, the ionizing particle, the incoming particle will lose whole of its energy. And if it loses whole of its energy at one point, so this concept can be used to kill the cancer cells. And this is used in today's time. It is used to kill the cancer cells.